Hey guys, Ultima here. So when I did Mega Man Month originally, my goal was to do well, the videos about the most trollish or BS moments in the games, because Mega Man games, especially because they're just classic games, and back then a lot of times the way they would lengthen short games was to sort of make very difficult moments, and sometimes those moments weren't exactly fair. So, I ultimately decided to just pick the 10 most obnoxious, trollish BS things that I experienced playing through Mega Man's 1 through 4. So here we go. Top 10 trollish or BS moments from Mega Man Month. Number 10 is sliding floor enemies, and most notably Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2. Um, Mega Man 1 had those little slidey guys in Elec Man stage, and in Metal Man stage there were some silver slidey guys. And the main annoying things about these guys is that you usually can't kill them unless you have a specific weapon, and you're not always going to have that. And then also the fact that these things, one, any time that you get on the same platform as they do, they just keep speeding up, and then if you try to jump over them, guess what? They speed up again. Anyway, coming in at number 9 is disappearing platforms. Now, I pulled no punches when I mentioned how much I hated these things. And the problem is they are in every single Mega Man game that has ever been released, at least in the Mega Man 1 through 10 series. Quite frankly, the fact that there are just points in times where you sort of got to take a leap of faith and be like, oh, there's probably going to be one right here, and yada, yada, yada. I hate it. And if you mess up, guess what? You have to start at the beginning and wait for everything to cycle back over again. It's not fun. Number 8 was one that I think the reason it's not higher is because I can't help but feel like part of the reason I hated it so much was just the frustration I was already feeling from the game in general. But the double boss rush in Mega Man 8, the fact that I had to play 4 stages after I beat all the bosses, then I had to beat all the Mega Man 2 bosses in those 4 stages. Then, in Dr. Wily's last stage, I had to fight all the bosses from Mega Man 3 again. So I took on a total of 24 Robot Masters, and I believe that is the most in any Mega Man game. The fact that they decided, hey, let's make this game longer by doing another boss rush instead of something else. I mean, I didn't have a problem necessarily even with the levels visited, but you could have made more bosses. And the other fact of the matter is, the second most annoying thing about all this, the fact that somehow all these bosses now had issues running on Mega Man 3 when they didn't have issues running on Mega Man 2. It makes no sense. Coming in at number 7 is just the entirety of Iceman stage. The problem with Iceman stage is that it pretty much has everything I hate about Mega Man, all wrapped into one stage. It has the disappearing platform, it has the sliding enemies, and if I remember right, it has the sliding enemies with disappearing platforms at the same time. And then you get the stupid helicopter platforms that you get to jump across. And the problem is, because they're not on a set path, it sometimes takes 3 minutes just for them to even go to the point where you want them to. It's not fair. Or at the very least, it's annoying. Coming in at number 6 is the Room Boss, and he takes place in one of the Dr. Wily stages in Mega Man 2. Now, I don't have a problem with the boss in particular, but the fact that you have to blow up the walls and then blow up the enemies using only the crash bombs, and the fact that you don't have enough crash bombs unless you have full ones and you don't miss a single one, or if you do it in a very specific order. Now, if maybe each time you destroyed one of the things on the wall, if it would give you a power-up to sort of restore your crash bombs, then I think that boss would be really cool. But the fact is, they make it so if you run out of lives, you just have to let yourself die, and then go back and then farm power-ups from enemies who are floating over spikes. It's like not exactly the easiest thing to do. And halfway through the list, and this is where it starts to get really obnoxious. Coming in from Mega Man 3, surprise, surprise, the enemies in Hardman stage, particularly the ape bots or whatever they were, the fact that those things would jump back and forth in such a small pattern that you almost couldn't get away. By the time your invulnerability recharged, they were already jumping on top of you all over again. was quite frankly really annoying. And even though I beat the stage essentially no problem, the fact of the matter is it seemed really unfair if you didn't kill them at a very specific point in time. They would just make you pay repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. Now, technically, number 4 on this list is in most Mega Man games, but I can't lie, the one that got me the most was from my favorite Mega Man 4, and fortunately, I can't lie. Mega Man 4 probably had the most obnoxious pit enemies. And when I say pit enemies, I mean when you're jumping over a pit, a bottomless pit that will bring you straight to your death, enemies shoot straight up and try to hit you, and if they hit you in the middle of your jump, guess what? You stop all forward progress and drop straight to the ground. But the thing is, not only were there pit enemies, there were skeletons throwing bone meringues at you. And if you even managed to dodge the pit enemies with your jump, you could still get hit with a bone meringue, and guess what? You fall to your pit and fall into the pit and die. It's not fair. It was so trollish. And it hurts me that Mega Man 4 has this stain on it like that. Number 3 is probably the thing that inspired me to do this list, because as bad as Mega Man 9 is, and as hard as some of the other Mega Man games are, the fact that the almost only way to kill the Yellow Devil from Mega Man 1 is to exploit the game mechanics seems pretty lame. The fact that I don't know, I mean, yes, he goes in a pattern, but I mean, you have to time it so precisely. And the fact that you only get a limited amount of time to hit him in the face before he just starts hurling blobs at you again. I'm pretty convinced that the only reason that the pause glitch is even popular in Mega Man 1 is because it's just about the only decent way to beat the Yellow Devil. Because keep in mind, at this point, energy tanks weren't a thing. It's not like I could have 3 energy tanks and just plink this guy to death. I had to get him pretty much in one shot. And it might be the definitive BS moment in the entire Mega Man series. Now, we're on the second to last one, and these next 2 are probably more personal problems than I think for most people. Number 2 is, if you remember the Hardman enemies and you thought they were obnoxious if you didn't kill them right away, the helicopter heads in Mega Man 1 did it so much even worse, and the fact is they would keep coming. The fact that they would just seemingly not stop. You would run into 4 or 5 at a time. And guess what? If one hits you, good luck killing the rest of them. Because you're going to get hit and hit and hit and hit until either you just die, or until you manage to walk out of there with 1 sliver of health, having killed them all. I'm going to do something a little different for number 1. Normally, for the most part, I've been showing on the side here, the things that were happening in the game while I was talking. But here's where I'm going to cut away. But let me state, the number 1 most trollish and BS thing in Mega Man Month was the slowdown in Mega Man 3. I get old games have slowdown, but guess what? You don't have to have slowdown in 1, every level, 2, at the worst parts of the game, and 3, you somehow managed to take things that ran perfectly fine in Mega Man 2 and make them run poorly in Mega Man 3. So here is at least, I guarantee, there is 1 clip from every episode of Mega Man 3 where there is obnoxious slowdown. And so let's cut away to the montage of the crap. Freaking jerk. No, not the bees. Not the bees now of all times. See what I mean? Like, look at this. This thing is just spazzing out so obnoxiously. What the hell? Where is this? Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Oh, and then the slowdown makes it so it's not like I can actually get over there in time. This one, huh? Super blue laser. Okay, that's not the... Oh my gosh, I can't stop until that thing stops. Oh my goodness. Gosh darn it. Well guys, there you have it. That's That's it. That is Mega Man month is done. Like, there's nothing left. I'm not sure if Mega Man month will happen again in December, but that's such a ways away, you know, who knows. As for next, I don't know what I'm playing next, besides Ocarina of Time. Continuing that here shortly. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe I can make you laugh a little or make you think a little bit about some problems in the original Mega Man games. But don't get me wrong, I love all Mega Man games, well, maybe not 3. But they are good ultimately. The problem is, I think they're sort of, in a way, their issues are just a product of the era they were in, and that's just the way you made games. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed Mega Man Month. And I hope that these will at least prepare you if you decide, you know what, maybe I'll play Mega Man 1 through 4. At least you know what to look out for. See you guys next time.